Yeah, but we're not talking about whether or not they should be held accountable. We're talking about whether or not it's an acceptable decision.
I acknowledge that they have full agency.
Oh, well, then we have no disagreements. I don't know why you're so upset about what I'm saying.
Which is the reason that they should be held accountable for it.
Sure. Okay, but I don't know what our disagreement is then.
You're comparing the two as you're saying they can be described as the same thing.
I literally did not.
Simply
what
not
I said.
True.
Hold
it's
on.
about signing up for a really hard contract that's going to last for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, same
That's
with
what it is.
OnlyFans. That's going to be
Yeah,
forever.
yeah,
I know. Same with OnlyFans. That's my whole point. That was
Most
my point.
people who get married when they're like 18 and 19 aren't doing it because they're trad. It's because they're like white trash or stupid. So I don't think
that's not always
Wait,
true.
OnlyFans?
I think
Yeah, that's not the case
I
either.
think that's definitely true. If you look at
No.
like, the pool of people who say got married at age 18 or 19, they're not doing it.
But there's also high school sweethearts that get married
Sure.
early.
My
and
mom
it's a
is not
great
white
I'm simply
trash.
saying, in order
Fight
to
that guy. Look,
in
he
order,
says something meaner than
in
me,
order
okay?
to make the accurate
Jesus.
in order to make the accurate comparison, I think you would have to look at young kids who are doing it because they want to make that vow and because they're like trying to be trad or something, instead of like the whole pool of people who got married at that age, which I'm sure a lot of them are regretting it because they're making a mistake. But I think if you have people who are more biblically minded, more traditional, it's going to be more successful on average than the person who takes the route of the OnlyFans. And I think it's also important with the value you're contributing to society. Maybe you made the wrong mistake with your spouse, but you still have a family, have a child, maybe you're miserable, but at least you do have that thing. This is
horrible. You just
That's
described
so
prison.
bad.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
That's
Because
right.
when you talk about what's like miserable in a marriage,
Like
people
being
are
poor with a
far
child that you
too
can't support, you can't even support
But it's a
yourself,
beau-
and
it's
no
a
one will
beautiful
love you
thing
ever
to have a
again
child.
because
Statistics,
It's
if
not
you
a
look
beautiful
at,
thing to
like,
be stuck in a
taking
shitty
your single
relationship
mom.
forever.
it's not forever. If you look at like
Maybe not for
couples
you.
who have been like
Would you
people,
marry a single mom?
There's people in
People-
shitty
no,
relationships
absolutely.
with
No,
their children are
exactly.
the light of
You
their
guys marry
lives.
single
Like
mom.
if
I
you
want
have
an
a single
answer.
mom, of course no one is gonna be
You-
like when I have her
How
again
did
in
they
that.
become
You
single
are
moms,
describing-
right?
Hey guys,
You are
guys,
describing
one at a time, please, one at
You're
a time.
describing marriage as a death sentence where it's like, oh, you're stuck in this miserable marriage. If you look at like couples who have been in abusive scenarios, like alcoholism, gambling debt, cheating, like even abuse in some cases, 80% of those couples report being happier with each other 5 years later. It's a matter of, I think, being able to like stick to it
Endure.
instead of just immediately being like, I'm unfulfilled. I want
those
to
are
divorce.
probably the ones that
Which is
didn't
what
get
happens
divorced,
now.
right?
So,
But I'm just saying that like it's easier
the
to
point
walk.
is it's
easier
possible.
to walk away from doing OnlyFans at 18 or 19 than it is to have an accidental child with a guy that you end up not.
Why are
being
you
with.
so
also
critical
true.
of conservative arrangements, but the moment somebody brings up your arrangement, you go off on a tangent for about 40 minutes?
Well, I don't recommend my arrangement to other people.
No,
I
Number
wonder-
one.
Promote
Hold on.
it.
Wait. Number two.
Does.
All I'm saying is that with the way the world exists today, there are massive benefits conferred upon you with a college education, right? We need more education today to succeed in the world than we ever have. So making huge life-altering decisions at
From a very
18 or
young
19 is really scary. And to say that like
Hold on. Going to college at 18 or 19 or even younger sometimes is a huge decision with permanent consequences because you're saddling yourself with potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
yes, but the aggregate is a $1 million difference earnings potential between you and a high school graduate. It's one of the very few paths in society that is like almost guaranteed to be success. Now, I do agree that it might not be for everybody, in which case I say
Did you
go
say
into the
college
trades.
is almost a guarantee of success?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What does aggregate mean?
Aggregate means that if you calculate all of the earnings of people that graduate from high school, you compare to all the earnings of people that graduate with a 4-year degree in college,
Yeah.
the aggregate earning is $1 million
Yes.
over the lifetime.
Agree.
Even for shitty gender studies degrees and your liberal arts degrees, even those people out-earn high school graduates.
Well, thank goodness earlier in the
so can
conversation
we-
we
can-
agreed on the value of going into
Yeah,
the trades.
I agree. But I'm just saying that like with as complicated as life is today, we're not done learning history at 14 and then running our father's farms and stuff at 15, 16 and then having families at 18, 19.
Fair play.
We kind of need to jump into the world and figure out like what's going on and to make decisions about like having families and all of that. Generally like 18 or 19, you're probably not going to be there to do it. But like in your like early mid 20s, I think you're like more equipped to make that
Can
decision.
we all at the table just like unanimously agree, like probably starting OnlyFans at 18 and 19, not a good idea? Can we agree with
As
that?
long as we can agree that
Is that
starting
okay?
a family at 18, 19, also a bad idea.
That's
Sure,
not true.
sure,
It,
sure,
it
sure.
works out for
Only
people.
because
It works out
society-
because we're like OnlyFans.
OnlyFans too.
Yeah.
Steven,
But
it's
more
only
people-
because
wait, hold on.
society
But more
is
people-
structured in a way where that's no longer facilitated for young people who want it.
More
Yeah,
people-
because
That's
women
the
have the
reason.
opportunity to pick good relationships and not just be married off to some guy and have no chance
But
to work or get
Arranged
educated.
marriage doesn't
more
exist today, though.
more
They were
people
far
it does.
happier back
more
then, too.
people fail at having a successful OnlyFans career than they do at like starting a family though.
That's true.
That might be
Yeah,
true.
yeah, you see
that might be
fat
true, but the
bitches putting
penalty
their
for
pussy
failing
pics up
OnlyFans is
online.
maybe if you fail. First of all, if you fail OnlyFans, chances are nobody's ever going to find your fucking nudes. Okay, because there's a million girls with OnlyFans
You're
that
not gonna
nobody
use
knows.
your own name
yeah.
either.
Number one.
True.
Number one. But also,
True.
even if they did, the penalty for failing
True.
an OnlyFans is a lot less than the penalty for failing a marriage.
True,
when you have
but
a
when
child.
you
know, but
do
you're-
fail in OnlyFans, it's a gigantic F.
Yeah,
Like,
and when you
everybody-
do fail in marriage, your kid is fucking Ted Bundy or some
At
shit.
least-
I know they're pretty
Sure.
common. More
See,
fucking Hitler,
At
okay?
least when someone's marriage fails, they were trying to do something good and build something in society that matters. If you fail at doing OnlyFans, you failed at doing something stupid and evil.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build a marriage,
and disgusting.
hold on, if you try to build a marriage for society, you suck at relationships, and you shouldn't even be trying to have kids. Because what a horrible way to contribute children to the world by saying, I'm making a better world. You should do it because you love the person, because you want to have a child, and because you have love for that child.
Yeah.
Not because you want to build a different
Disagree.
world.
Here's
Oh,
why.
oh, yeah.
I agree that you should have children because you love the person and because you want to bring children into the world with that person. However, from the biblical perspective,
Which I'm not a religious man.
Yeah.
I know
But
you're,
preach.
I know you're not, but the counterpoint that I want to make is Psalm chapter 127 verse 4 says that the children of a man's youth, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way into his 30s, the children of a man's youth are like arrows in the hands of a warrior, okay? From our perspective,
The Psalms or Proverbs?
The
Psalms
cult
chapter
perspective.
127 verse 4. From my perspective, and I assume theirs as well, we are in a spiritual war, and
Jesus.
it is a war. Yes,
Going to hell, you
Jesus is
motherfucker.
correct. Jesus is correct.
And
He
look
is
at
the
our
king that
enemies.
leads people. He is the king that leads people to either
Wait,
have
I'm
it.
curious. If there was like an Islamic person that was talking to you, trying to like convince you about like Islamic beliefs, would you like be open to that, or would you feel like
I
why
have
you're talking
I have
to me?
conversations.
I'm Christian. Like
I
I'm
have
Christian,
conversations
right?
with Muslims
You're
all the
Christian.
time. Some of the best people I know are
No,
True.
Muslims.
I'm
Also,
not.
hold on.
But-
I'm sorry.
but
Hold on.
the
She
point-
said,
the
wait,
point
wait,
being-
wait.
the
She said,
point being-
look at
hold
our
on.
enemies. Wait,
Hold on.
no, wait.
No.
She made a
Everybody hold on.
Brian, intervene. Who has the right to talk here?
The point
One
is
person
that
at a
there
time,
is
please.
there is a good motivation for having children in terms of the societal
Yeah, to
benefits,
populate the
in
world with more
sense that you
Christians.
can send more virtuous and godly
I
people
gotcha.
out into society.
You made the
Spread the
joke.
word.
Look who our enemies are. You realize we are destroying you in every single facet of the culture war and at world domination, right? The conservatives have no place in media. Conservatives have no place in the art. Conservatives have no place in most major governments around the world. America
I
has
was
the
just
most
talking
right.
about you.
What?
I was just talking about you. I just
Okay, that's fine. Well,
I just
the
think you
movement
look
that I
silly.
represent is absolutely fucking annihilating your movement. It's not even close.
Which
that's
is
why you
why
guys
we
are on
need to have more
podcasts
kids.
crying about trans people going into
This is
bathrooms.
why we need to
okay?
have
We're
more
gonna-
kids and send them out
when
into the
yeah,
culture
I
like arrows in
understand.
the hands
I'm
of a
just
warrior.
saying that instead of making fun of the blue hair, you should revere it and respect it and fear it, okay? I am the man kicking you into the well saying this is Sparta.
Not when
okay?
I have 10
Sparta
kids.
is ran by
Not when I
trans
have 10
kids,
kids.
dropping grenades on Russian soldiers, okay?
How many kids
Be
are you
aware
guys
of it,
gonna
okay?
have?
Cope,
I'm gonna
cope.
outbreed
We're
you.
gonna
How
have
many
100
kids?
fucking kids.
No, you're not.
okay?
We're gonna
And
cope
for
with
Polly,
it.
I'm gonna
Yes.
get 20 women. I'm gonna have 200 fucking
You
kids.
shouldn't
You-
be allowed
if
to
you
have
if you have 200,
We're gonna
I
spread our
have 201. Okay.
We're gonna spread our genes all over the world, okay? That's
You
what
will.
we're
You're
doing.
fucking
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's our army
Ryan,
here.
do you
okay?
wanna
The
take
blue
back
haired
control of
army.
the
You
show?
are. We are.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
No chance.
It's coming. You better watch it.
No
You
chance.
better watch it. It's coming.
Proximity.
is the father
Yo,
figure
Brian-
of whatever
Brian
podcast
is
coming
risen
back.
from the dead.
He's
Are you
coming.
good,
He's
bro?
coming.
Did Brian go to get milk and cigarettes?
Yes.
How we doing? How we doing?
Come back. Come back, Brian.
Degenerates
We need
like you
you.
belong on a cross.
How we
We
doing?
need you.
Ladies
So you
with
are.
big
So you
labia,
are.
my
I'll just
DMs
say
are
this.
open.
So Destiny, you guys, they're
are you okay?
leading. They're leading the charge,
good,
but
I'm
it's
good.
not a good charge.
What?
I would say you guys.
Yeah, you look
definitely-
at the state of the world and you're like
yeah,
bragging
yeah.
about your
You guys
coalition
are
ushering
leading
that
the
in.
It's
charge.
the state of the world, but your markers of like the world is bad is at like 22% of
Yeah, but
Gen Z
liberal-
are bisexual.
liberal-
Yes,
Yeah.
literally yes.
I know.
They're
you
going
said
to
it.
hell.
Oh, wait,
They're
wait,
going
wait.
to hell.
No.
There was
Right.
something.
The-
There was something I wanted to say earlier that you guys are like talking about, like, oh, it's bad that there's less people having children, et cetera, et cetera. But like, part of me is not completely bought into that argument because I'm thinking about how sometimes it's better to have less children and develop them more virtuously than have multiple children or a lot of children and then have them live in poverty or not be able to develop that. So
It's a
I
fair
don't think,
point.
in developing
But not
nations, a
mutually
lower
exclusive.
birth
That is
rate
true.
is necessarily
But people
bad.
who tend to have
Yeah,
that
but, like,
psychology tend to
when-
want to
when
neglect
you're-
their kids.
Yo,
Say
one
what the
one
fuck?
mic at a time. One mic at a time.
You're
guys,
saying a
please.
lower birth rate isn't necessarily bad, but you're conflating the two. It's not necessarily bad to have less children if it means that you're going to care for them better, but I would say that it's good if you can have more children and you can provide for them and raise them effectively. I would say that that's a good thing.
Yeah, and
I would
what-
not say that it's not a bad thing if you're below replacement levels. I would say that's
Yeah.
a pretty bad thing.
Yeah, I think the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it seemed like earlier we were talking about like developing nations, like they're having like less. Oh, sorry, developed
Destiny,
nations. They're
please
having less
play the game.
children.
Play it.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. They're having less children. Like that's cultural decline. Like it doesn't really seem that's necessarily the case, especially if it's just people focusing on putting the resources that they now have more onto those two children. Or
Yeah,
three
and when I
children.
see people like you, I agree the birth rate should be lower.
What?
But
How could you betray us
What?
like this?
what? What do you mean? No, I'm saying.
You're
like-
saying,
Fire
you're saying
from
people,
PetSmart.
you're
Why
saying,
do you keep digging
I'm
you're
out?
saying
saying
people
no-
like her should be reproducing less? Yes,
they
I
need
agree.
to
Yeah,
have.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
disagree.
Sorry.
They need
I
to
don't
have
even need to
many
convince them. It's
children,
okay.
and then they
You
won't
don't
be able to
deserve the
father
flower
the
in your
children
hair,
okay?
come
I
to
do.
wait for
I
me, so
do.
then the
I
sons
do.
will turn to the internet.
I
and they
do.
will
Do you
find
want it
people like
then?
us.
Yes.
Yeah, we will.
Based, let's
we
go.
will radicalize
We will
them.
be the surrogate fathers.
Yes.
Oh, you putting it.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right. Bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.